I guess Bad Bunny wasn't enough representation. I guess Bad Booger wasn't enough to satisfy deacons at Woke United Methodist. With Roger Goodell, hey, it's me, Roger G! With Uncle Roger being an overachiever, he decided to go above and beyond to appease the unappeasable. He made an exciting addition to the Super Bowl entertainment lineup. Since Bad Booger belongs to a marginalized group, he will remain in the main event. The bad hombre will be sedating America with a painfully boring performance at halftime. A performance where not a single word of English will be spoken in a country where English is the primary language. But performing before Bad Booger, the opening act of the Super Bowl is going to be Green Day. Green Day? The band from the 90s? The same Green Day whose mainstream debut album was titled Dookie, which is an appropriate title because that's what the entertainment at the Super Bowl is going to be. Dookie. Let me show you something. This right here. This graph shows the political leanings for athletes in the 4 major sports here in America. Well, Uncle KC, I see 5 leagues on this graph. Yeah, for reasons unknown, they decided to include the WNBA dump in a study of real sports leagues. But for the purposes of this particular video, just pay attention to the NFL. Nearly 65% of NFL players identify politically as normal people. 34% of NFL players, I guess, have had too many concussions because they have decided to align themselves with the party of the donkey. This graph shows players, but if I had to guess, the political leanings of the NFL fan base, it mirrors this graph. Matter of fact, I'd be willing to bet 70, maybe even 75% of the NFL fan base consists of Republicans and independents. So I'm struggling to understand why the NFL would serve an audience that mostly consists of normal people, bad boogers. I'm struggling to understand why the NFL would serve a Republican audience a band like Green Day, who literally hates Orange Man Bad and anyone who supports him. You know, 10 or so years ago, John Cena was nearing the end of his full-time career with the WWE, or as they are better known today, World's Worst Entertainment. Throughout his run in the main event, which lasted an unprecedented 10-15 years, John Cena was often accused of holding back younger talent. He was accused of hogging the main event scene all to himself. Around 2016-2017, he was working a program with Roman Reigns. Now, Vince McMahon wanted Roman Reigns to be the face of the company, but the WWE audience of lonely men with dingleberries on their hands, they hated Roman Reigns. They were rejecting him. One night, he's in the ring with John Cena. They're doing a promo, hyping up their upcoming match. During the segment, Roman Reigns accuses John Cena of holding back younger talent. He accused John Cena of being past his prime and refusing to give up the keys to the kingdom. I'll never forget what John Cena said because it applies perfectly to the NFL and other woke leagues who continue to shit on their fan base. He said the audience of lonely men, the WWE audience of wanker spankers, they hold all the power. They decide who gets a push from the office. They decide which sports entertainers will be successful. It's the same thing with the NFL. The audience decides what they're willing to tolerate. The question is, Have normal Americans had enough yet to send the NFL a clear message? Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Link to the second channel's in the description below. Earlier today on the second channel, talked about this potentially being Steve Kerr's final season with the Rainbow Warriors. The dynasty was over before Jimmy Butler tore his ACL and was lost for the season. But with Jimmy Butler out until probably this time next year, and with this rapidly aging roster, the Warriors are looking at a rebuild. And because of his inability to deal with younger players, Stevie isn't the right coach to get them through the process. Plus, I doubt he even wants to be. So if you haven't already, click the link in the description below, subscribe to the second channel. For some reason, and I can't figure out why, but for some reason, the dork of dorks, Bob Krasenstein, continues to show up on my Twitter timeline. Last night, the Bob with the high-pitched voice, not to be confused with Bob Griner, who has plenty of bass in her voice. Last night, Bob Krasenstein connected with his lonely male followers to make an exciting announcement. Check it out for yourself. Hey boys, it's me, Bob Krasenstein. I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it. Bad Bunny will be wearing a dress at the Super Bowl. I've already bought my carrots, hoping to attract his attention. This is gonna be awesome. Ooga, ooga. You're excited about seeing another man wearing a dress? Supposedly, Bad Bunny will be wearing a dress at the Super Bowl to honor queer icons and generations of drag resistance and cultural rebellion. Correct me if I'm wrong here. The Super Bowl is supposed to be an event that unites us, right? The Super Bowl is supposed to be an event where we forget about politics, we forget about problems for a day, and we come together to watch the spectacle, the show. What the Super Bowl is not supposed to be is divisive. So, someone please explain to me how Bad Bunny honoring less than 7% of the American population is unifying. Someone please explain to me how neglecting the other 93% is unifying. According to High Pitched Bob, Bad Bunny isn't the problem here. The NFL isn't the problem for allowing this to happen. The problem is you. According to High Pitched Bob, MAGA's gonna have a complete meltdown. They're gonna boycott the Super Bowl. We've officially taken it away from them. This is great. Since when has it become a MAGA thing for parents to not want their children to see a grown man wearing a dress? What are parents with young children supposed to say to their child? Daddy, why is that man wearing a dress? Can I have one too? You know, Bad Booger was bad enough. Bad Booger was a slap in the face to normal people. But when you combine Bad Booger with Green Day, Roger Goodell has booked an anti-American Super Bowl. But KC, Roger Goodell's not responsible for booking the performers. Yeah, you expect me to believe that? You expect me to believe Roger Goodell didn't sign off on this garbage? The biggest event of the year, the largest television audience in the world, and you expect me to believe that the boss allows this to happen without his approval? I guarantee you, The Super Bowl is going to be filled with anti-ICE propaganda. The NFL booked a Super Bowl that caters to the feelings of 30% of their audience. And you know why they did it? You know why the NFL is doing this? Because they can. The NBA would never get away with this. When the NBA embraced the woke wiener, when the NBA embraced mythical racism, millions of people turned it off. But the NFL, they continue to break records. Even with the product on the field during the regular season being the drizzling shits, even with the decline of play at the quarterback position, even with the NFL serving a substandard product when compared to what it used to be, NFL ratings continue to set records. Back in September, there was plenty of backlash when the NFL announced that Bad Hombre would be performing at halftime of the Super Bowl. When Green Day was announced this week, it was pretty much ignored. I mean, no one really gives a shit about Green Day. Green Day is so irrelevant, Donald Trump doesn't respond to him. And Donald Trump responds to anyone who talks shit about him. The week leading up to the Super Bowl, I'm sure people will express their outrage. The Monday after the Super Bowl, after America has been mesmerized by some dude in a dress who refers to himself as Bad Bunny, I'm sure the NFL will deal with an onslaught of criticism. But you know what the NFL won't deal with? Consequences. Why? Because there won't be any consequences. The Super Bowl will break records. With the new way Nielsen is calculating ratings, I wouldn't be surprised if 120, 130 million people watch the Super Bowl. By the time August gets here and the preseason is starting, this will all be forgotten. For some reason, the NFL is allowed to act with impunity. Well, Casey, that's not true. Millions of people quit watching when Colin Kaepernick kneeled for the national anthem. Yeah, they quit watching temporarily. They quit watching for one season. To their credit, the NFL was quick to get the Colin Kaepernick situation resolved, because it was one of the only times in my lifetime where they were actually held accountable. I would be surprised if there are consequences with Bad Bunny. People will complain. I'll make a video making fun of the performance. But unless something absolutely egregious happens, which I doubt, the NFL will deal with the backlash without having to deal with the consequences. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys tomorrow.